Hi, I'm Sarah,
And I'm Jenna.
and we are Heartly Broken, and we help women, moms who are going through divorce, focus on themselves so that after divorce they can thrive and find a better relationship than the one that they left. Most importantly, the relationship with themselves. And we have devoted the month of December. I about said September. Um, the month the month of December to focusing on ways to make the holiday less stressful while you're going through divorce. So the holidays are stressful in and of itself, and divorce is stressful in and of itself. And then you put the two together, and it's just this low, like, explosion waiting to happen. So we thought we would help, and we hope we can help some moms out there kind of reduce their stress for during the holiday season. And you can check out our first two blabs that we had on this subject. And today we're going to be focusing on money saving tips. And before we get started, I just wanted to share something that I thought was interesting that happened to me today at the store. So it was been a stressful day for me today, and I thought that I'd stop by the store to pick up some last minute things before I came. And I was kind of in a rush because I wanted to get home in time to prepare for the show, and so I wouldn't, be frazzled or whatever. And I must have been really deep in my thoughts because when I first walked in, I didn't notice the music playing. But after I was there for a while, I finally realized that they were playing Christmas music. It's December, but at the time, I'm like, why are they playing Christmas music? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's like Christmas next week, isn't it? And it's been December for like 2 weeks. And so I just thought that was really funny because like for a split second, I was so stressed that I had forgotten that it was the holiday, and I had forgotten that I was supposed to be having fun and enjoying myself. And I think that happens to a lot of people sometimes. They get wrapped up in the stress of traveling. They get wrapped up in the stress of buying gifts and finances. And, especially when you're going through divorce, you have a whole other list of stressors that you're going through. So I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted to share that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess let's get started on ways to save money. I've got my ideas, and I'm interested in some ideas that Jenna has. So I guess I'll get started. The first thing I thought of when I was listing these tips out is to say no to parties and gift exchanges. I know those are like two very traditional things to do during the holidays, but if you're going through a divorce and you're stressed, and you're a single mom, so you probably don't have as much money as you used to. Like, parties and gift exchanges are just going to add to that stress. And especially during the holidays, like, a woman going through a divorce at any other time of the year needs time to herself, but during the holidays, you really, really need time for yourself. Some examples are like family members who think that you're not handling the divorce, the way that they think that you should, or family members who try to help but aren't really helping, or family members who have an opinion about, your ex, or, and then any normal family stressors during holidays. So because of family members and the stress that comes with getting together with family during the holidays, you need time alone even more. So during the holiday season, take whatever opportunity you can get. So if somebody asks you to a party, just say, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to take it easy this Christmas. Maybe next year, or maybe you and I can get together for coffee after the new year. So you're not really blowing them off, and you're letting them know that you're not trying to be rude or anything. usually people will understand. People understand that people get stressed, and if they're really good friends and they love you and care about you, they're not going to make a big deal out of it. But if they do, then you can just repeat exactly what you said. You don't need to get into some long drawn out discussion or long drawn out explanation. Just repeat again. I'm just trying to take it easy this Christmas, so I've been saying no to a lot of things. It's not just you, and then just leave it at that. So that's my first tip.
Yeah, that's good. I agree. I would say, just, going along with that would be my tip too, is just don't, put too much on yourself. Try to take it easy on yourself. And I would even, I would say that a money saving tip that I would give is making a list of what you want to get for whom you want to get it for, and just stick to that list. And then, don't feel bad if, there's a bunch of people that you used to get gifts for that you no longer can anymore.
Yeah.
You could always opt to do like, a special card that you make or you buy, or, just something just to still show that you care about, people that you're close to. But, I don't think an apology is really necessary, especially if people know what you're going through. I would just hope that people would understand, and I'm sure that most people would. And I get, you always could explain to people, I'm really sorry I couldn't get gifts this year, but money's tight, and I'm sure that most people are going to understand. So anyway, that's my tip, is make a list and then just stick to it. Because that's what I did for my kids, and it's worked well. So I'm not overspending because I can overspend for them, because I'm a mom, and when I go to the store I think of them anyway, so I'm like, that they'd like that or whatever. But I just, making a list will help you save money and just stay on track.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I have that on my list too. Going back to my tip about saying no to parties, this also frees up time that you can spend with your children. And if you're not able to give them gifts, then your gift could be extra quality time together.
Yes.
I know a lot of parents feel guilty about not being able to give their kids gifts, but really, they're not going to remember, they're not going to remember not getting gifts for this 1 or 2 Christmases or whatever. They're not going to remember that. And especially if you in turn spend more time with them, they're going to remember that more. And if you can even get creative. Canon, the camera Canon has a website. Let me think of it. Maybe when Jenna's giving her next tip, I'll search for it. But Canon, the camera, has a website. I think it's called Creative Spark or Creative Space or something like that. And they have a bunch, like, I haven't counted them, but it has to be over 100 downloads that for things that you can make with paper. So printables that you can download and then print, and then you'll cut them out and put them together. And from complicated things like recreating the Taj Mahal, I think, is one of them. And so you print out all of the pieces, and then you get your glue and whatever, and then you cut them out and you put them together. They even have sets to make little box towns. And I was just on there the other day, and I think this is a new one. They have a box town, like I just said, but this one, all of the buildings fit inside one another. So it only takes up probably about, I don't know, that much space. And you can just set it down somewhere, and then if you want to play it, you unstack them all and then play with them and whatever. And the other day I went to Meijer, and I wanted to get Olivia this set of, it was like fabric streets, and it came with cars, and it was a bunch of different pieces. So you can put the pieces together in different configurations and make like a little city if you had blocks of cities, like blocks of buildings that you got in another set, so you could set up the streets. And I think each piece was a little square, and then it had like an intersection or a straight street or like a corner or something like that. And they were all fabric, and you can set them out and put them in different configurations. And I was about to get that for her, and then I thought, you know what? I bet they have something online that I can just print out on paper. And I haven't looked for it yet, but I'm going to look for it tonight. So, you know, my whole point is that you can get toys for your kids and you don't have to spend anything. If you have a printer at home and some paper, even if you don't have a printer at home, you can download, you know, the plans from, you know, Canon or from a different site, and email them to yourself, and then go to the library and print them for, you know, pennies. So, you know, you don't have to go completely like no gifts. You can, you know, there are so many creative ways to frugally get gifts for your kids.
Yes, I agree.
Do you have another tip you'd like to share, Jenna?
For saving money?
Yes.
Well, my main thing is the list. And then just, you know, sticking to it, and just, I guess, just creating a kind of a budget, a holiday budget of what you want to spend on what. Like if, you know, certain things are kind of important to you or special to you, like, well, I know, you know, the new Star Wars movie's coming out, and I'm sure a lot of people are coming, you know, going to see that. And that's not cheap, especially if you're taking a bunch of kids.
Right.
So if that's something that's, you know, important to you, or, you know, special to you that you like to do with your kids or family. Growing up, we would always go see movies like on Thanksgiving, so it doesn't really apply to Christmas for us, but I would just say, you know, just maybe make a little budget of things, and then try to think of free ways that you could celebrate the season. Like one thing we always do every year is go and drive and look at Christmas lights.
Oh, yeah.
Which isn't, you know, that's not that expensive, especially since gas is so cheap right now.
Yeah.
So that's probably, you know, doable for a lot of people this time of year, and this year specifically. And you know, you can always, like our downtown Danville, they decorated a lot this year, so you can always just go and, like, you know, walk and look at decorations and stores, and, you know, like window shopping is fun.
Yeah.
And my kids like to do it.
Yeah.
So you could just do that. And you might hear, I want this, like a million times. But, you know, just trying to, you know, just remind your kids that, well, you know, I can't get everything for you that I want, or that you want, and that I would like to get you. I've had to remind my kids that a lot. But, you know, they're understanding of that. And I did, I mentioned this in the last episode, but I created an advent calendar, which is really simple.
Yeah.
It's just some strips of paper, and
yeah.
It's been really fun for them every single day to be like, ooh, who gets to take it off today? And so this morning it was just, you have a special treat, and I got them all these little marshmallow snowmen, but they were so excited, you know, and those were like 25 cents a piece.
Cute.
And they were super excited.
I saw a video. I saw a video on how to make an advent calendar with a muffin tin and a bunch of circles. So you take the muffin tin, and then you cut out a bunch of circles that fit over each of the, like, muffin tin or muffin openings, and then you put like little candy and little trinkets inside, and then you cover it with the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot of advent calendars are just little candies or things like that, but I have 3 kids, so that's a little harder for me to do and fit 3 things into, you know, because how many things are that small?
Were you telling me that?
So for me, I just was like thinking smaller.
Were you telling me that your mom one year didn't have enough money for a Christmas tree, and so she just took a big piece of construction paper or something and made a tree on the wall, and then you got to decorate it? Was that you?
Well, I had shared that I had heard that from
Oh, okay.
somebody. I can't remember who it was exactly. It's somebody I definitely have been friends with in the past. I don't remember who it was, but um, it was either her friend or she did it herself, and now her kids are grown and they still talk about
Yeah.
how that was like the best Christmas
Yeah.
ever because they had this really cool different tree. So at the time, I'm sure the mom was like, oh, this is kind of sad that, this is all we have. But, kids love stuff like
Yeah, and
that.
if you think
So,
about it, you're probably spending most of your time, I know I am, telling your children not to take the ornaments off the real Christmas tree, not touch it,
yes,
stay away,
exactly.
and then, you have something like a
Yep.
simple construction tree and you tell them, you can do whatever you want. They're like, all right, cool. And they don't care that it's
Yep.
not a real tree. They don't care it's not, a fake tree from the store.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really good idea.
Yeah, that's very toddler friendly. And I also saw on Pinterest the other day, giving your kids a huge cardboard box to decorate themselves
Oh,
like
yeah.
like a house, and then giving them some lights and then
That is,
stringing it up around the house. I thought it was
that is such a
absolutely
good
adorable.
idea.
I know, I thought it was amazing because, that would be so fun
Yeah,
for a kid to do.
definitely.
And, because they love cardboard boxes
Right.
anyway.
Yeah.
It can become anything. And then, if you already have some lights sitting around, then you're not
Right.
spending hardly any
Exactly.
money at all.
Yeah.
So,
That is
yeah.
such a good idea. I love ideas like that.
Yeah, me too.
I love, I don't know if you'd consider it hacking or, oh, somebody used a really good phrase for that. It's like when you, like, instead of buying something or instead of, I forget what he called it, something to do with chaos, but I don't know. Anyway, that's off the topic.
Yeah.
One thing I thought of while you were talking was, because you mentioned something about going downtown and just walking around and looking at the lights. That's something I love to do. Like I like to do things with my family more than I like to buy gifts. I mean, I do like to receive gifts, still, even though I'm 32 years old. But I like to plan outings. Like that's one of my favorite things to do is plan outings and have my mom and dad go and my daughter and just go do something for a little bit. And
Yeah.
so one of the things I just thought of was sit down with your kids and brainstorm free things that you can do or free things that you can make for the holidays. And like, just give everyone a piece of paper and you can use crayons, markers, pencils, whatever you want. And just have everyone just spend like 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, writing down a bunch of ideas. Like some ideas off the top of my head are, just picking a favorite movie, or like if you already have a cable subscription, then like search through like what shows are coming up. And if there's like a Christmas show or something, then schedule a night around, that the showing of that movie. There are tons of Christmas movies on at this time of year. So, and then make a day out of it, or make a night out of it. Make popcorn, get in your pajamas, make hot chocolate, and that is all you need to do. It does not take much to make kids happy. It really doesn't, especially during the holidays, because it's such a magical time of the year anyway. So
I agree.
Let's see, what other ideas did I have? So like we were talking about budgeting and sticking to your budget, but I think first, like before you write your budget, I think it would be helpful to write down all of the things that you usually spend money on. Like if you usually go to a cookie exchange, or you usually go to, and not just spend money on, but spend time on. Because a lot of my stress specifically comes from all the time I have to spend on, preparing gifts. And I haven't done a cookie exchange, but I'm sure it would be stressful to work making cookies and then taking the time to go to the cookie exchange, or getting kids ready for pageants and not pageants, Christmas shows and Oh, that's Christmas pageants, right? Never mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, so write down all the things you spend money on usually for the holidays. So gifts and who you're buying that gift for. If you always make a certain treat, if you always, do a certain thing, if you always buy a certain thing, and then make a list of all the things that you spend your time on. Then after you have all of that laid out, go through that list and check. You can do it one of two ways. Either check the ones that make you most happy, check the ones that you enjoy doing the most, and maybe limit yourself to 3 or 5, depending on, how many are on your list. And then just mark off all the rest. So only focus on those things that make you the most happy or that you enjoy the most. And then you can also do it the other way. Just start crossing off the things that you don't want to do anymore. Maybe you start resenting making cookies for a cookie exchange, or maybe you start resenting buying a gift for a certain family member. Not that you don't like that family member, but that you just don't want to buy gifts for certain people anymore. And that's completely fine. It is completely fine to decide, this year I'm only going to focus on my immediate family, or I'm only going to focus on my parents and my kids, and that's all I'm going to buy for. So yeah, just write down that list and really focus on the most important things, the things that are near and dear to your heart, the things that make you happy and that you find most enjoyable, the things you are always looking forward to, and just get rid of the other crap, because you don't need that in your life right now. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I agree. I'd say another tip I have is it's something I've been doing lately, but looking at thrift stores or like the Habitat Restore. I know a lot of places have that.
Yeah.
For Christmas decorations, or even just like gifts or something you could make out of something. Like I have seen on Pinterest, and I've actually wanted to make one of these forever, like a little wooden tray that you could put, you could make it into like a little coffee tray, or make it into a coffee table tray to put things in. I found one for 50 cents, I think,
nice.
at the Habitat Restore, and it's just kind of plain wood, and it looked good. And I'm like, ooh, I could paint this and, put some paper on it, and it'll look completely different and really nice. And, I could give that as a gift. So just trying to look at things and think of like, how could I repurpose this? Or and look on Pinterest, because there are so many ideas. Like if you look up DIY presents or DIY Christmas, you're going to get a plethora of ideas.
Yeah.
And, if that's something you're struggling with, or like, I have a whole board of DIY gift ideas. There are so many, and there's tons of lists, and they even have lists for like gifts under $5, which are really cute still, and lots of good ideas. So I would say check the thrift stores, and also check the thrift stores for like if your kids need, like a holiday outfit for like
definitely.
Like a program at school or at church or whatever. I would say definitely check, because there's gonna be Christmassy things, and there's gonna be nice things too. I looked for my kids, and I found all these Christmas pajamas, which they got all excited about, and $2, for how could I say no to that?
I really want a sweater. Like I used to have a Fighting Illini sweater, and it was so comfy, and I felt so comfy in it. And I don't know if it shrunk or I grew. I probably grew after I had Olivia. I think that was, let's be honest. So it doesn't fit me right anymore. And when I was at Meijer, I thought, man, I really want a sweater. But then I actually thought, well, I need to check the thrift store first. So, but I love sweaters. So another idea I had was to pick a theme, like a really easy theme. And one of the easiest themes for gifts is food. So either make a casserole for someone, like make food that's already made, like a casserole, it's already cooked and you just give it. Or you can make,
Yep.
put together a jar, and you can find a bunch of these on Pinterest too. A jar with some sort of baking mix in it, like a brownie mix or I don't know if you could do bread mix, probably too much flour, but maybe like a mini, you could probably find a mini bread, like lemon or cranberry or something like that. Or like cookie mixes, so it's just the dry ingredients. And then you put a ribbon around it, which you can get at the dollar store. I bet the thrift store has really cheap ribbon. And so like everyone gets the same gift.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that saves a whole ton of money, and it also saves a whole bunch of time because you can make big batches. You don't have to think about specifically what to get everyone. Everyone's getting the same thing. So, and if you don't want to go that route, or, if you have some people in your family who are diabetic, or some people in your family who don't like cookies or whatever you're making for everyone else, you can get, your grandpa or your husband. Well, no, we're talking about divorced women. Never mind. Or your brother. There you go. Brother, uncle, whoever you're buying for. You can make like a grilling rub, like what do they call that? Well, a rub, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Or like one year I made popcorn seasoning for my dad, and I just put it in a little jar, and I think I made my mom like a coffee scrub or something, and I found this really cool antique sugar shaker, and it had kind of big holes in the top, so the coffee came out pretty easily. So that was pretty cool. So just buy a theme. Or if you're into crafts, your theme could be all crocheted stuff. And that takes a little bit longer, but it's still a theme, and you don't have to think about it. You just make a bunch of whatever you're making. So yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that is.
Do you have any more ideas, Jenna?
Well, it was weird that you said food, because that was my idea for my mom, and I know she's not going to watch this. So, because she just recently had a house fire and they had to move. They're renting a house for, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 months right now. And she said that it's fully furnished and everything, but she just said she just doesn't feel like cooking, and she doesn't really like she's not used to the kitchen, and just right. So I just thought, okay, I could do some freezer meals, or meals that she can make, and that's going to be kind of cheap, and and also a really good idea. So because like going along with the money saving thing, I'm not really buying anything for anybody besides people that are the closest to me, but just I think food gifts are a really good idea, because everybody likes food and needs food.
Exactly. And so, you can make the freezer meals for yourself as a way to save time and money during the holiday season. So either give the freezer meals as a gift, which that's a really, really good idea. I've never thought of that before, and I don't think I've seen it in any of the lists that I've looked at. And I've looked at tons and tons of frugal gift giving idea lists, and I don't think I've ever seen that. But that's a really good idea. But then you could also make those freezer meals for yourself. Like take a weekend. It's not that late now. I mean, it's only the 14th, but maybe plan for next year. When next year rolls around, the first weekend in December, get your friends together and make a bunch of freezer meals. And then you can have, I've seen freezer meal plans that they say are supposed to last for the entire month. So you can get together one weekend in early December, get all of your freezer meals prepared, and then you don't have to worry about making meals while you're already stressed, while you're running from this and that, and children's choir and this play, and going to family members' houses and buying gifts, and it's just one less thing you have to worry about. So
that's a good idea, and that also would save money too, because I'm sure people eat out a lot more this time of year, because you're just so busy running around. Definitely. So if you just do a little planning, and especially if you have a crock pot, I'd
Yeah.
say if you don't have one, ask for one
Yeah,
for
right.
Christmas
Yes,
from
exactly.
somebody who you know will get you one, because it's ridiculous. You just put the food in and it cooks it for you and you're done. Like
I
that's it.
know.
That's all you have to do. So yeah, that would definitely save money too, for sure. Is
Yep.
planning that out. So yeah, that's a good tip.
My last idea is to have a like institute a no buy holiday season. So instead
Mm-hmm.
of, going out and even making, like, buying the material or the ingredients and making things, instead of doing that, just go around your house and just shop your house, I guess, is kind of the fun way to say it. And I mean, I'm sure every mom in America has something that they don't want anymore, but that's still, usable, that somebody else might like. So,
Mm-hmm.
shop your house and gather together all of the things that you don't want anymore. And then, you might have to get a little creative. Like, if if the things that you find that you don't want don't really make good gifts by themselves, then you can pair certain things together. Maybe by pairing those certain things together, it kind of turns it into a funny gift. I don't know. But like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head because my brain's about to shut down. I'm surprised I'm still going right now. But so yeah, just, shop your house and just say you're just not going to buy anything. And then when you make that determination and when you make that rule, your brain will automatically start to try to figure out how to give gifts to the people that you want to give gifts to without buying anything. Like, it's a challenge. And you can get your children involved too. Say, we're going to have a game this year and it's going to be really fun, and then lay out the rules. Like, we can't buy anything for anyone else, and here are the rules, but we still want to give gifts to, this person and this person and this person. And you'll probably it'll probably help if you institute like several of the ideas that we've shared. If you do
Mm-hmm.
that, then that'll like greatly cut down on your stress and greatly cut down on the money that you spend this holiday season. So if you've already whittled down your recipient list, your gift giving list, then all you have to do is go around your house, pick out stuff you don't want, and there you go. I mean,
That's a great idea.
it's so easy. I don't understand why. I don't know. I don't understand why holidays have to be so stressful. I think people just, especially in America, have it ingrained in our brains that the holidays have to look and feel and be a very specific way, and
Mm-hmm.
they really don't. They can be however you want. And this made me remember something else I wanted to say, that I've been working on a coloring book for moms and children going through divorce, and it's filled with like just straight up coloring book pages where you just color. It's filled with inspirational quotes from the mom, and I have 10. Jenna's fallen asleep
Yeah,
too.
I'm tired.
We're almost done. We're almost done here. But I have 10 activities that the mom and the child work on together. And one of those activities is coming up with new traditions. So when we're talking about traditions are especially important, and especially near and dear to your hearts during the holiday season. And when you break up a family during a divorce, some of those traditions can get lost, and children might, and adults too, will get sad that those traditions aren't what they used to be. So using gift giving as a way, like creative gift giving, like we've been talking about, as a way to start new traditions, can even be, can make gift giving and can make the holidays even more special and have a deeper meaning during divorce.
Yes, I
So
agree.
yay. Okay. So we want to end with one of our commenters said, "Divorce, ouch, sorry to hear."
Yeah, I saw that.
Me and Jenna are both happy about our divorce. It's been a good thing for both of us, and that's the whole point of us doing these shows, to show that divorce doesn't have to be the end of your life, and it could be something that, you know, really pushes you to excel in your life and improve and learn more about yourself and have a, you know, have a better relationship with yourself and, you know, learn from what you're going through.
Yes, I agree. And we just, you know, both of us have said that this is actually one of the best things that's ever happened to both of us. And it can be, if you choose to, you know, heal and then move forward and discover who you are and find your identity separate from what you used to have. And you can make it be better and have a better life than you ever have. So yeah,
exactly.
That's our whole thing.
Yeah,
That's our
I'm glad Michael, I think that's his name, Michael said that.
Yeah,
okay, so we're going to get back to something that we used to do on our show, but we kind of stopped doing for some reason, and that is ending with like a DIY or kind of like a DIY or project that you can do after the show.
Yeah.
So Jenna is going to go along with saving money during the holidays, and Jenna is going to share her idea.
Yes.
Her DIY.
So as we were talking about earlier and how Sarah was mentioning that, you know, if you have children and you're not able to get them as many gifts as you have in the past or whatever, you know, spending time together is something that, you know, you can replace that with rather than things. And one really good idea, I think, is making ornaments together. And I found very, very simple recipes, which apparently work very well. I was going to do the other day, but we ran out of time. Me and the kids did, so we didn't have time to do it. But there are no-cook cinnamon ornaments out there that I've never made them before, but apparently they smell really good because they have lots of cinnamon. And
I didn't know this was what you were going to talk about. Yeah. I was envisioning like those plastic balls that you like put, like you can like open them and then put stuff in them and then put them back together. That's okay. I like where this is going.
Okay. Yeah, a joint Pinterest. Okay. We actually do have a Pinterest, and I need to.
Well, it's my account actually, but yeah, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
Yes, thank you. We will do that. So really? The cinnamon ornament recipe.
Sorry. If you're watching, one of our blab commenters said that we should create a joint account on Pinterest where we can pin, and viewers can also check out or pin boards that you're talking about right now, so people can follow up. So
yes, that's a good idea. For sure.
That's a very good idea. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Jenna. So the cinnamon ornaments are 1 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of salt, 1/2 cup of cinnamon, which is a lot. You could scale it back, and 3/4 cup of water. So it's just flour, salt, and cinnamon. And apparently you just roll them out, and after a few minutes, it becomes dough. You just stir it together. So you can do it with your kids. Very simple. And then you just roll it out. And then you can cut shapes out with cookie cutters or even glasses. Like if you know, to save money, like if you didn't have any cookie cutters, you could just use glasses or, you know, anything you could find, like a candle holder, whatever that.
Like when you say glass, you mean take like a glass and turn it over upside down.
Yeah. So if you, you know, if you didn't have, you know, cookie cutters, and then just take a straw or, you know, something small, even a pen back, and just poke a hole in it. And then you can just let them dry. And apparently they paint really well too. So if you just had some paint lying around, you know, extra paint, kids paint,
awesome.
You can paint
I wonder if you can take like a toothpick and kind of engrave your initials or something in them too.
Yeah.
While they're still like wet.
Your kids
That's
get
really
creative,
cool.
You know, don't, you know, what I like to do with my kids is not really direct them. I'll just give them the tools and then just see what they come up with. And usually they come up with some amazing things that I didn't even think of. So yeah, that's one. And then another one is they're white ornaments, and they're kind of like salt dough, but apparently they hold up better over time and they don't yellow. It is just 2 cups of baking soda and 1 cup of cornstarch and water. That's it. So,
Cool.
and yeah, and they're white and they look really pretty. I've seen a lot that, and people
Yeah,
have
I've
even
seen
made like
that too.
candle holders out of them and
Cool.
ornaments. And my plan was to make that dough and then make shapes, probably just circles, you know, like with a drinking glass, like we just said. And then what I wanted to do is use some Mod Podge, which there's also DIY Mod Podge recipes.
Oh,
And
cool.
I wanted to print out some old family photos onto just some paper and then just Mod Podge it on and give it to my mom for Christmas, or, you know, people that would appreciate that.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, because that's,
You
I
could
mean,
also,
that's cheap.
yeah,
I mean,
you can also
pennies.
take, you could also Mod Podge with Christmas cards that you've gotten from friends and family.
Yeah.
So cut up the Christmas cards, because I usually throw mine away because I guess I'm not sentimental like that. Like I'm a horrible like Scrooge when it comes to sentimental things like that. I'm like, no, I just throw it away. Like if it's a really cute thing, or if I like really like the saying, I'll keep it. But I usually just throw cards away. But that's a really good way to keep the cards, but then not have them be clutter anymore. Like they actually, you know, have a purpose, and you take them out and look at them every year. So that's a really good idea.
Yeah. And then another idea I had, well, I'd given Sarah, Sarah's daughter, for her birthday, a little handmade fairy wand,
She still has
which
it.
is extremely,
Yes.
that's great. I made my girls theirs over 2 years ago, and they still play with them on a daily basis. And all they are is wooden dowels and felt and some ribbon, and that's it. Like I glued them together, and it's extremely cheap. Like you can buy a little pack of wooden dowels at, you know, Walmart or wherever for $1 or $2, and then some felt pieces, which are like 89 cents a piece, and then just make a star, glue it, and then get some ribbon. And kids love them. I've given them to a few kids and they freak out over them all the time. And my girls will even like fight over it. Like if they can't find the other one, they'll fight like, that's mine, I want to play with it. You know, and that's, you know, a handmade thing that's really cheap, and they love it. So
Olivia, I'm trying to
idea.
teach Olivia that we don't hit things. We don't hit magic into things or other people. We tap magic into things.
Yes.
And she has a pacifier still, and it has a monkey, like a stuffed monkey on the end. And she was like hitting it over and over and over and over. And I said, no, we tap. And she just can't get that gentleness down yet.
Okay, so no guarantees that they won't try to hit things with it, but you know, it's still fun.
And I was really worried that it was just gonna like, you know, tear apart or rip or something like that. But like you gave that to her on her birthday, so it's been like 6 months, and I mean she doesn't play with it that much, but so it's kind of safely been tucked away. But she's been playing with it a lot more, and it's held up. Like I'm really surprised. And you can even, if you wanted to like reinforce it, you can cut out a star out of like cardboard or something like that, and then make make bigger felt stars, and then sandwich them together with the cardboard in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If you wanted to reinforce it. So
yeah.
All right. Well, we are out of time. We're going to put the recipes for, or maybe we can just put the links to the article that has the recipes at the bottom. And we will actually, I'm working on getting the other 2 videos for this series on YouTube. And so when those are up, I'll have links to all of the well, we're only going to have 4. I'll have links to all 4 of the series, and I'll have a link to the next series that we're going to do next week when it's up, and if it's not up already. So thank you for watching. Thank you for catching the replay on Blab. And, you know, let us know what you think in the comment section. And if you have any other ideas for ways to save money during the holidays, we would love to hear them. And then check us out next week. And I do have to plug my coloring book. I'm sorry. But my coloring book is available at heartlybroken.com. It is a therapeutic coloring book for mom and child to help them through divorce. And I just think it's, especially now during the holidays, I think it's a really important time to reconnect with yourself and reconnect with your child. And coloring is a really great way to do that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So, I will put a link in the description for that as well. So thank you once again for joining us. And
yes, thank you.
We will see you next week. All right. Bye.
All right. Bye.